Welcome to the video lecture on networks and security. So today I am going to take a topic from unit 1, which is error detection. So let's get into the video lecture. So data can be corrupted during transmission. So for reliable communication, errors must be detected and corrected. So so when data is getting transmitted over the network from one end to another end, so during the transmission, there are possibilities that errors will happen. So such errors should be detected and also it should be corrected. So error detection and correction are implemented either at the data link layer or the transport layer of the OSI model. So if you're talking about the OSI model, we have seen different layers. So this error detection and correction is especially taken care at the data link layer or maybe at the transport layer of the OSI model. So talking about the types of errors, during data transmission, there are two kinds of errors which will happen. So one is the single bit error, that is only one bit is changed in the entire data. Maybe either a 0 is changed to 1 or maybe a 1 is changed to 0. So because every data is in terms of zeros and ones, so by the term single bit error, which means when a single bit is changed from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, which happens in error. So that is called as a single bit error. On the other hand, burst error is nothing but more than 2 or 3 bits have been changed from 0 to 1 or maybe from 1 to 0. So burst error is nothing but it means that 2 or more bits in the data unit has changed. So this is the basic difference between single bit error and the burst error. So single bit error is nothing but only one bit is changed, but whereas burst error is more than 2 or 3 bits have been changed. So this is the basic difference. So single bit error, if you can see, on the center side you have a set of data and on the receiving side you have a set of data. So if you see the fourth bit, the 0 is basically changed to 1 during the transmission. So this is called as a single bit error. But whereas burst error is, see the sent data and as well as see the received data. So you can compare each bit one by one. You can see that more than 2 or 3 bits have been changed. Okay. So if you see the fourth bit starting, the 0 is changed to 1. Again the fifth bit 0 is again changed to 1. And then again after 6 and 7, I think 8th bit is also again changed from 0 to 1. So when you have more than 1 bits which is being changed, automatically this is called as the burst error. So error detection code, error detecting code is to include only enough redundancy to allow the receiver to deduce that an error occurred, but not which error and have it request at retransmission. So error detection uses the concept of redundancy, which means adding extra bits for detecting error at the destination. So from source you are sending some data to the destination, but you don't know whether the data is arrived at the destination correctly or not. So to check that, you add some redundancy bits, which is nothing but you add some extra bits at the sender side, and then similarly at the receiving side you cross check that additional bits, and then finally you remove that redundancy bits to ensure that the data is received correctly at the other end. So error detection especially uses the concept of redundancy, where you add some additional bits to the data transmission. So from the sender side you will add some additional bits, and the same will be verified at the receiving side to ensure that the data is received correctly at the other end. So redundancy is nothing but instead of repeating the entire data stream, a shorter group of bits may be appended to the end of each unit. This technique is called redundancy because the extra bit are redundant to the information. That is what you will do is, along with the data you will add some group of bits at the end of each unit. That is you will append. That is you will append some additional bits at the end of the each data. So this technique is called as a redundancy because the reason is you are adding some additional bits to the information which is going to be shared, but they are discarded as soon as the accuracy of the transmission has been determined. So once you check that the data is received correctly, automatically you will discard the additional bits which has been added at the sender side. So this is the diagrammatic representation. So you will have the sender and you will have the receiver. So you will have the data, and then what happens, you will use some generating function to generate that additional code which is called as a redundancy check code. Okay, so in this diagram you can see you send the data, and then through some generating function you generate some additional redundancy code. Okay, and then what happens, this data along with this redundancy code goes to the receiving side. Similarly, on the receiving side you will have a checking function to check whether the data is received correctly or not. So if the data is received without any error, you automatically accept, but on the other hand, suppose if the data is not received correctly, you have to reject the data. So that's the reason you use some generating function at the sender side to generate some additional code, which is nothing but the redundancy code. So the data along with the redundancy code goes to the receiving side, and on the receiving side you will have a checking function to check whether the data is received correctly or not. So this is the general diagrammatic representation of the redundancy check. Right, so here we will talk about two techniques. One is a vertical redundancy check and longitudinal redundancy check. So in the previous slide, I was just explaining about the general basic description of how this redundancy check works. Now we will go into the techniques where we will talk about VRC, which is vertical redundancy check, and then LRC, which is longitudinal redundancy check. Right, so now what is happening in VRC is it is also known as a parity check. So what happens? You will add a single bit, okay, on the sender side. So it is least expensive mechanism for error detection. So in this technique, the redundant bit called parity bit is appended to the every data unit, so that the total number of ones in the unit becomes even. So I mean, earlier I was just explaining about the general concept, that is you add some additional extra bits to the original data and then you send it across. So here you use a even parity generator, where you will add a single parity bit to ensure that the total number of ones in the data unit becomes a even number. So even number in the terms, the number of ones should be either 2, 4, 6 and 8. So similar like that. So you will add a parity, I mean you will be using a parity generator which will generate a 0 or a 1 to ensure that the number of ones in the data is a even number. So this is called as a vertical redundancy check. This is a diagrammatic representation. So earlier we saw the general diagram of the redundancy check, but here in VRC you can see this. You are using a checking function. You are using a parity generator to generate a VRC code, okay, which is called as a redundancy check code. So if you count the number of ones in the data, it is you have 3 ones in the data, so which is a odd. So but you want to make it a even, so in that case you add 1 to the original data, so which means when you add this 1, the total number of ones in the data becomes 4, which is a even number. Okay, so similarly on the receiving side, using a checking function, you will count to see that whether the number of ones is even. So when you see that there are 4 ones, automatically it is a even number, then you assume that the data is received correctly. So this is, you use a even parity generator, but likewise you can use a odd parity generator also. So odd parity generator, in the sense, obviously you know that it should be in terms of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, but here since we are talking about the even parity generator, it's about 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Okay, so you will add a 0 or a 1 to ensure that the total number of ones in the data is a even number. So next is a longitudinal redundancy check, where you divide the block of bits into rows and columns. Okay, and then you have to add all the rows together and to get the LRC code. Okay, so take for example your entire data is divided into 4 rows. Okay, so now you will add all those 4 rows and then you will get a final result. Okay, so using the binary addition, you will add all these 4 rows to get the 5th row, which is your longitudinal LRC code. Okay, and then what happens, this data along with that LRC code will go to the receiving side. So similarly on the receiving side, what you will do is you will add all these 5 rows, and suppose if the end result is 0 for all the columns, automatically it means that the data is received correctly. So in this method, a block of bits is organized in a table. So calculate the parity bit for each column, and set of this parity bit is also sending with original data. So from the block of parity, we can check the redundancy. Obviously, I mean when you divide your data into 4 rows, you add all these 4 rows using the binary addition. So we'll see it in the next slide using a diagram. Right, so if you see, I mean you have a set of data. So now that data is divided into rows, and then you add all these 4 rows to get the LRC code. Okay, so now this data along with this LRC will go to the receiver side. Okay, that is this 4 rows plus along with that 1 row of LRC code. So on the receiving side, what happens, again you will add all these 4 plus that LRC code, that the 5th row. So which means you add all these 5 rows, and suppose if the end result is 0 in all columns, automatically it means that the data is accepted, I mean the data is received correctly. So this is about LRC. So so far we have seen across error detection, through which we have seen 2 important techniques, which is vertical redundancy check, VRC, and another one is a longitudinal redundancy check, which is LRC. Thank you.